We both kind of share a passion for learning and discovering Iceland. I've been fascinated with your country for the past maybe 10 years. There's something about Reykjavik itself, the northernmost capital in the world, a few 100,000 people living so close to the Arctic Circle independently. On your website, you mentioned that you're also immersed in Icelandic culture, and I mean, you're from here obviously, but you've been involved with the tourism for the past 9 years. What is it about Iceland that you love so much, besides the fact that you're from here?
I think the fact that I am from here is a big part of it actually, and it's just a really special country. The nature is really beautiful. I've been around the world a little bit, and I haven't found a place that is so varied and, and of course, again, it's my roots that I'm from here, and that matters. But it's just so beautiful, and the culture is unique, and the people are really friendly, and it's just a great place to live and be born in.
We went on a tour around the city today, and you mentioned a lot of very unique things. The street art is one of them as well. Icelandic people seem to have a very quirky sense of humor.
I'm not sure where it comes from, but Icelandic people have a quirky sense of humor. They also have a bit of a dry, black sense of humor. So sometimes you're having a conversation with an Icelandic person and they say something and you think they're being completely, honest with you, but they are saying something completely, rubbish, basically. And they don't say, that's a joke or anything. They just kind of carry on with the conversation, so you're left a little baffled.
And if you don't know sarcasm, then you can get offended.
Yes, very easily. And we like to make fun of ourselves, and we like to make fun of you as well. So.
Is there a particular place in the city or the country that you're drawn to and you try to visit every time you have a chance?
No, I have many different, favorites. It's like, choosing between your children to choose between areas here. But there's especially one place in the south called Postmark that, my favorite place in the country. It's a little valley nested between 3 glaciers. It's a little hiking area. You can go on many hikes there. You have to go through unbridged rivers to get there, so you can't get there without a specialized car or a bus that is specially equipped to go there, and just being there is, it's just waking up in the morning and seeing all these glaciers and all these beautiful things. It's quite unique, and I love it.
It never gets old.
Never gets old.
Is it marketing? Is it pictures? Is it videos? What is it about Iceland? I mean, there's few people that can experience what you just told me, because that sounds beautiful. But what is it about Iceland that people have been attracted to, tourists and travelers, maybe for the past 10, 15 years? Why do they come here, and why do they want to come back here?
I think we're actually seeing different kind of tourists in Iceland now than we used to. Before it was like, die-hard nature lovers that came here for the nature and the interiors, the highlands, for long hiking trips and things like that. So I think people definitely come for that still, but it's just, the nature here is different from everything you will see anywhere else in the world, maybe except from New Zealand. I've heard that New Zealand is quite similar in many ways. And then I think it's the reason they come back is just they feel some kind of connection to the country. It's very easy to get to know Icelandic people, so you make friends fast, and to a certain point it takes them a while to let you all the way in. But I think it's the people, it's the nature, and just the general feel of the place.
Do you find that the traveler that has come here has evolved to be more of a city slicker as opposed to an adventurer?
Yeah, I think so. And sometimes, and this is of course not all tourists, and everybody travels in a different way, so I'm not judging, but I sometimes call them checkbox tourists. They come here to check things off their list, and the beauty of Iceland is in the in-between. It's not the big, although there's a big beautiful waterfall, that's really not what's special about this place. It's the things that happen between here and the big waterfall. So when you just do the checkbox, you miss what's really great about this country. But there's different types of tourists, and people all do their different things, so everybody, each to their own, but that's not the beauty of Iceland in my opinion.
Do you find that to be a common thread throughout the world though, where people are just they're more interested in getting the shot than seeing what's actually in the shot, or seeing it with their own eyes? Yeah, I think that's definitely. I was in London last weekend and I experienced a lot of that. I sometimes also call them iPad tourists because they have their iPads and taking pictures on their iPads, and they see the waterfall on the iPad, but they never actually see the waterfall. No judging. It's just the way the travelers are. Yeah. You mentioned on your site, I Heart Reykjavik, that when you were a kid, you would go with your family on excursions around the country, around the city, and you dreaded it. I did the same with Niagara Falls, even though people flock to Niagara Falls to see, these monster falls. When you conduct these tours around the city, do you relive some of these memories with your family when you were a kid?
Maybe not those moments, but this is where I'm born and where I'm raised, in this, part of the city. So of course, I played in some of the playgrounds we see and, things like that. So yeah, I relive a little bit of my childhood doing these tours. But I think what I was talking about on the website is that we were traveling maybe to the other side of the country where some of my family lived, and my dad was relentless in trying to teach us what was on the way, like this mountain is called that and this stone is called that and things like that. And it was just so boring to me. But now I'm like, why didn't I listen? Because now I want to know what all these mountains and stones are called.
Yeah, we don't have any patience as kids, though. And fathers usually, or uncles usually know the names of everything. And you just want to go. It's about the destination, not the journey. You have a family now. You have a stepdaughter. Do you do the same thing now to her as your father used to do to you? Yeah,
now I'm the annoying one, and she has no interest whatsoever. So she's just on her smartphone playing games and things like that. But we try, I guess as parents, that's what we have to do, try. So that's all I can do.
Take me through your aha moment. Now, you started Reykjavik not too long ago. Your aha moment when you realized that, yes, I can evolve this into now a walking tour around the city that I love. What was that moment, and how did you realize, and how did you know that this was the time I need to start this?
It was practical. I had been doing the blog for 3 years at that point, and it was supposed to start off as a little pet project, and it had kind of taken over my life. I was spending all my time on it, and at a time where I had a job and I was also in school, so I was doing this into the night. I just kind of decided, if I'm going to keep doing this, I have to find a way to make money out of it. And I know it's faux pas to talk about money, but in the end we have to make a living.
Right.
And basically I didn't want to go the typical blog route and sell sponsored posts and advertisement and things like that. So, and people were always asking me to show them around anyway, so I just decided to do this. And then another reason was that when you're a blogger, as you will know, you spend a lot of time in front of your computer alone. You're writing about all these wonderful things, but you're not out experiencing them. So I wanted to go out and meet people and maybe exercise a little bit, because when you're sitting in front of the computer, your fingers get lean, but that's about it. But so that was the reason why I decided to do this. I didn't want to go the typical way, and I wanted to be around people, basically.
Tell me about your very first walking tour. How did that go?
It went pretty well. I had some nice people. I told them a lot of things that were wrong, but I was quick to fix that once I realized the wrong of my, what I did wrong. I think I sent them an email and apologized and told them the right things. But I was really nervous. It's not natural to me. I'm an introvert, so standing in front of people talking was not really, so that came naturally to me. But then I was surprised how naturally it came to me, because now I feel comfortable in front of people, something that I didn't feel comfortable with in the beginning. But it was interesting. But those people are still sending me comments, and I had a real connection with them. So they've been recommending me and things like that.
Best experience, the best time that you've had, the greatest moments. What pops to mind over the past 5 months that you've been doing this?
I think what I like most is just seeing people meet on my tours and start a conversation. Then I see them walk off and have a lunch together or something, and then later maybe I get sent a picture where they're together in the golden circle or something. That really gives me a lot of joy, seeing that I, in some small way, help people experience my country better than they would have if they wouldn't have come on my tour. So I think that's what I get most out of it, is just knowing that people are getting something out of it. I've never done anything that I loved this much, and every day I'm like, okay, something bad is going to happen, because it can't be all this good. But maybe what really was difficult for me when I was starting doing this is the fact that I did say something that wasn't right, and I'm like a little bit of a perfectionist, and it haunted me for weeks that I had told people that something that wasn't right.
You're waking up in your sleep.
Yeah, I literally oh my God.
Right.
This guy didn't do that. But I think that's the kind of worst thing. And then of course the weather here can be kind of not so great. So sometimes it's terrible when you see that people are really cold and they just want to be somewhere else, and you have to kind of finish the tour. But I always tell people, if you're cold, I would rather have you go inside and have a cup of coffee, and just tell me about it, that you're leaving, than be miserable in the tour with me. So I think those are the worst things, but in general, I love it.
In the course of this interview, we've had cold, pouring rain, and now it's sunny outside, and I see blue sky. So weather is obviously the big role. Why should people come with you on this tour?
I think, the fact that I am born and raised here, I know this city, and also it's a unique opportunity to experience Iceland with someone that loves it, that knows a lot about it, and I can tell you about places that you will miss otherwise, and that's what people tell me all the time. I would have missed this if I wouldn't have come on this tour. It's not necessarily the most famous statue or whatever. It's the little things. I think that matter the most.
And it goes back to the point where we said it's about the journey,
yeah.
Not so much the destination, but it's the journey. It's the times that you have between. What's the one word that would describe your tour?
I don't know. The New York Times said eclectic, yeah. I think Auður, my name, it's all about me, Of course it's all about Reykjavik, but it's my personality, it's my tour, it's my company, and, you get to peek into my home with me. So you don't get that with anyone else. You can go on a tour with someone else, but you don't get my perspective.
And people are drawn to the personal life of a local,
yeah.
And being raised here and being able to experience it and tell you about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for doing this today. We're sitting here, we're having a coffee on a beautiful, cold September day in Reykjavik. Thank you so much, and continued success to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you.